In the natural world, a disaster never begins with a loud roar. It begins with silence. But that is the deadly lull before the storm. A silent race for survival has been triggered. When the earth unleashes its fury, animals have no fortresses for shelter. Their only weapon is primal instinct: flee or face death. The ocean always shrouds itself in an appearance of serene stillness. Yet, that tranquility is sometimes the most perfect mask for violent upheavals about to unfold. Deep beneath thousands of meters of water, where sunlight never ventures, the Earth's crust is silently accumulating a colossal amount of energy over decades, intensely compressing and waiting to explode. But notice this exact moment. The leader suddenly changes course. No sign has appeared on the surface, nor are there any dangerous predators lurking nearby. An invisible signal has just swept through the ocean. The whale's entire massive body acts as an ultra-sensitive seismic receiver. A survival instinct, accumulated over millions of years, urges them to flee shallow waters, where tsunamis will soon rear up into devastating walls of water. On the seabed, the Earth shudders. Seismic waves traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour through solid rock generate a low-frequency roaring sound, sounding a death knell echoing throughout the aquatic kingdom. The planet's vibrations do not stop at the water's edge. They continue to propagate through the continent's solid geological layers. And on this arid savanna, the most sensitive creatures have begun to catch the disaster's frequency. Hundreds of miles from the epicenter, an African elephant herd is enjoying its peaceful afternoon. They break wild branches, chew slowly, and interact with each other in complete relaxation across the vast savanna. But almost at the exact same second, the entire herd freezes all movement. Raised trunks suddenly drop, chewing jaws halt. The way these gigantic creatures abruptly hold still creates a breathtaking suspense. Right now, they are receiving infrasound, a frequency below 20 Hz, completely beyond human hearing. The elephant turns its body into a seismic probe, hearing the deep groaning of the earth. The matriarch emits a deep, resonant warning signal, an unyielding command. Without chaos or trampling, the herd moves with discipline, steering clear of low-lying areas prone to landslides or flooding. The strength of elephants lies in collective memory and the inheritance of instinct through generations. When a tremor strikes, the experience etched within the genetic code of the oldest matriarchs saves the future generation. As the sea level recedes, exposing reefs, signaling the tsunami's decisive strike, humans only then begin to panic. Yet, utilizing natural biological tools, the animals have long since reached safety. Leaving the mysteries of the deep ocean and remote savannas behind, the vast kingdom of the sky opens a different story. In that windswept dimension, massive flocks of migratory birds freely trace magnificent curves, guided by an invisible map granted by nature. Their steady wing beats create absolute peace amidst the sun-drenched atmosphere. However, that free dance is suddenly broken apart. Without any warning clouds, and though the sky ahead is still flooded with golden sunlight, the entire formation suddenly breaks. Their wing beats become rapid and panicked, completely shattering their initial ease as an invisible wall of atmospheric pressure bars their path. A collective wave of alarm spreads instantly at a dizzying speed. No longer a leisurely journey, tens of thousands of birds hurriedly drop their altitude, diving straight into the nearest dense forests like arrows. They cling tightly to branches, tucking themselves deep into thick canopies to seek shelter, willingly pausing their crucial migration. Deep within the atmosphere, air pressure is plunging. The clear sign of a fierce superstorm or a devastating tornado silently taking shape hundreds of miles away. Thanks to their natural pressure-sensitive organs, the birds detect this shift incredibly early. To them, the surrounding air is already turning dense and heavy. While the kingdom of the sky is hurriedly evacuating, in the microscopic world right beneath our feet, another race against time is unfolding with equal urgency. This entire tiny ant kingdom at the base of an ancient tree is currently in a state of the highest red alert before the ground is submerged. Completely abandoning their normal foraging rhythm, tens of thousands of worker ants are hurriedly transporting cocoons and eggs. Moving with no chaos, they form highly disciplined columns, resolutely evacuating up to higher branches, leaving the flat ground that will soon turn into dividing torrents. The fragile antennae of ants, or the wings of bees, have now turned into the most advanced humidity measuring devices. They detect the buildup of static electricity and moisture in the air early on. Not far away, a wild beehive is executing an emergency lockdown, with every member returning at maximum speed. Within just a few short minutes, a vast expanse of nature suddenly becomes strangely empty. Not a single bird's chirp remains, nor a single silhouette of any insect. Nature has withdrawn all its residents into safety before inky black storm clouds from the horizon roll in at a terrifying speed, swallowing the afternoon sky. The storm unleashes its destructive power, snapping branches and shaking the entire forest. Yet, beneath thick canopies and deep within tree hollows, those tiny creatures have long been safely settled. They survive not by fighting nature, but by listening and yielding to it. From the deep ocean to the vast sky, this sixth sense has proven its miraculous power, paving the way for the fierce survival tactics that follow once the disaster truly strikes. If in the previous chapter, invisible signals from the earth and sky were merely distant warnings, then entering this stage, nature no longer holds any patience. Our lens brings us to an ancient forest at the peak of the dry season. The carpet of dried leaves cracks bone dry underfoot. Streams are completely parched, and the sweltering dense air turns this place into a massive powder keg, awaiting a single spark to ignite a catastrophe. And the worst has arrived. A dry lightning strike or intense heat accumulation has ignited a tiny spark on the forest floor. Within mere minutes, that aggressive fire fiercely licks through the dry mulch, spreading into ancient tree trunks and rearing into a colossal glowing wall of flame. Intense heat of thousands of degrees instantly incinerates the peaceful atmosphere, turning the Green Kingdom into a living hell with no easy escape. Facing the sea of fire behind, the race for survival officially begins. Look at this solitary kangaroo. Its powerful legs, usually its pride for speed, must now operate at maximum capacity in a state of sheer urgency. It executes desperate bounds through the toxic gray smoke, struggling to maintain a safe distance from the dangers advancing right behind its back, as its survival instinct awakens stronger than ever. In another world at the lower tier, rodents and tiny creatures choose a completely different survival strategy. Instead of racing directly against the speed of wind and fire, they opt for narrow paths near the ground as their protective shield. These tiny individuals rush through the decaying leaf litter, taking advantage of the nearest wild rock crevices or deep burrows, hoping the thick layer of soil will block the horrific heat spreading above. As the disaster reaches its absolute climax, the forest's territorial boundaries are completely obliterated. The entire space is consumed by an urgency unprecedented in history. The herd of wild deer amplifies their powerful strides, bounding through familiar trails that are now full of peril. They no longer have time to determine where safe pastures lie, only knowing to drive straight ahead to find a path to free themselves. Severe heat from the aggressive fire is exhaling directly behind their backs. If just a single dry bush along the way catches fire, its heat can instantly alter the entire situation for the escaping creatures around. The fire's spread does not wait for any individual, leaving the gap between safety and peril to be measured in mere, brief seconds. Behind them, thousands of hectares of ancient forest, the lush valleys that were once home to generations of creatures, are now submerged in a blazing sea of fire rising dozens of meters high. Toxic smoke and flying ash completely obscure the sky, turning the environment into a sorrowful and brutal apocalyptic portrait. There is no longer any chance to turn back, because the journey ahead is the true life or death test for this reluctant survival alliance. Having just escaped the clutches of the fire, the migrating creatures must now face another equally ferocious nemesis of nature: water. In the downstream valley, a river unwittingly cuts right across the evacuation route of all species. At this moment, the water's surface still appears calm and peaceful. But deep within the current, and from torrential rains upstream, a colossal torrent of energy is silently building up, waiting to unleash and test the courage of any living being in its path. And then, without a single warning, the flash flood strikes like a colossal mud monster. From the upstream bend, the dark red water, churning with silt and broken tree trunks, roars down at a terrifying velocity. Within mere seconds, the gentle riverbed from before vanishes, giving way to an aggressive water tyrant, swallowing up the floodplains and shaking both sides of the steep embankments. On the edge of the divide, a massive herd of wildebeests stands tightly packed. The roaring of the water strikes their ears with sheer terror. Behind them lie the remnants of smoke and fire. Ahead is the Death River churning wildly. Hesitation is clear in every head shake, every chaotic cry of the herd as they face a life and death decision. Staying means being cornered, while stepping down means gambling their lives with the fierce current. Unable to wait any longer, the bravest leader decides to plunge into the water first. Its desperate leap tears through the murky surface, paving the way for a tragic crossing. Intense survival instinct forces it to take wild swimming strokes, using all its powerful muscles to fight against the ruthless push of the flash flood that wants to sweep everything toward the downstream. Following the footprints of the pioneer, the entire herd of hundreds of wildebeests simultaneously plunges into the riverbed like a living torrent. The aerial view reveals their tiny yet resilient presence amidst grand nature. They form a vivid living ribbon, struggling to maintain a tight formation to lessen the pressure from the hostile current constantly battering their flanks. However, the river knows no mercy. In the midst of the swiftest current, a fragile calf is battered outward by the white, foaming waves. Its tiny legs lack the strength to hold against the murky torrent, and the gap between it and its mother grows wider by the second. The calf's head bobs precariously amidst the hostile water, its strained cries for help swallowed by the deafening roar of the flash flood. From a straight top-down aerial view, the divide appears in its most brutal and distinct clarity. The young calf right now is merely a solitary helpless dot amidst a vast matrix of red water. Yet, the spark of life never goes out. Through a phenomenal effort exceeding its physical limits, the calf continuously stretches its neck high, using the swift current as leverage to direct its head toward a rocky outcrop on the far bank. A miracle emerges from sheer tenacity. The tiny, exhausted hooves finally strike the soft mud along the safe embankment. Though its body trembles from the cold and deep fatigue, the young wildebeest musters its remaining strength to stagger up, step by step, leaving behind the fierce water that nearly consumed its life. It has found its own escape through a supreme display of independent survival instinct. On this side of the bank, the reunion unfolds without cheers, yet is flooded with primal connection. the wildebeest herd gathers fully upon the fresh, dry ground. The calf finds warmth once more from its mother's muzzle, and the entire herd resumes their steadfast strides to advance deep into the vast savanna ahead, leaving behind the twin disasters of both fierce fire and flash floods. Surviving the incinerating fire and the dividing water, the mass evacuation of the natural world has composed an immortal epic of the yearning to live. Yet, as temporary perils fade, all species must confront an invisible enemy, far more cold and persistent. The harsh shift of seasons and freezing winters locking down continents. A new chapter of the perpetual war for survival is about to commence right next. Leaving behind the volatile riverbeds and flooded valleys, our journey takes us to the absolute southern frontier of the planet. Here, the cold is no longer a mere weather concept. It has become an absolute ruling force. The Antarctic winter strikes with blinding whiteout blizzards, lasting relentlessly for months, and standing ready to freeze any budding sign of life. In a hazy space without a single tree or shelter, the ground is torn by shearing winds, turning this land into one of the most solitary and brutal ice deserts in the universe. For any creature, simply standing firm against cold air currents, dropping tens of degrees below zero, is a challenge far exceeding ordinary limits of endurance. Yet, right in the center of that frozen hell, one of the most resilient icons of life still persists. Emperor penguins do not choose to migrate to warmer lands when winter arrives. They stay to face it. Look at the special structural adaptation of this solitary individual. Its plumage is densely packed like fish scales, forming a perfect waterproof and wind-resistant armor that traps the scarce body heat within. Their eyes narrow, heads tilting low to minimize the surface area exposed to the lashes of snow striking their flesh. Alone in the storm, this tiny creature seems to muster its entire will to survive. Understanding that solitude means death, emperor penguins activate one of the greatest survival strategies in the natural world: the Alliance. From all corners of the ice plain, individuals begin to move slowly, advancing toward one another with waddling yet resolute steps. They do not fight over territory, nor do they divide by hierarchy. They automatically seek each other out for protection. The massive bodies begin to press close, shoulder to shoulder, back to back, erasing all empty spaces. The power of the collective begins to form as thousands of tiny heat sources merge into one, preparing for a long confrontation. When viewed from above, this interconnected mass appears like a living fortress, a colossal circle tightly interwoven amidst the vast white snow. This structure is called a huddle, a flawless warming network of their own creation. At the center of the circle, the temperature can rise to over 30 degrees Celsius, a miraculous contrast to the flesh-cutting cold outside. The outermost layer of the circle acts as a solid rampart, enduring the full force of freezing gales and sharp snow particles. This distribution might seem unfair to those standing on the edge, but the world of the Emperor Penguin operates on a completely different law, one with no room for individual selfishness. The true secret that helps the entire colony survive prolonged storms is the continuous and incredibly rhythmic shifting of positions. Without coercion, without chaos, those individuals that have stood on the outer edge, taking the brunt of the storm for hours, will slowly move along the sides of the huddle, making way for those from the inside to step out into the wind. By sharing heat and operating that loop of life, emperor penguins have turned a deadly desert into a cradle protecting the future generation, proving that supreme adaptation comes not from an individual's physical strength, but from the tight cohesion of a community. The wonder of this cold-defying strategy does not end here. Our next destination takes us to the high mountain valleys blanketed in white snow on the other side of the hemisphere, where the harsh winter is no less ruthless. Amidst the steep cliffs covered by thick ice, a fascinating geological phenomenon emerges as a salvation of nature. These are underground hot springs billowing thick steam, creating a hazy warm mist that runs along the freezing valley floor. Amidst the completely frozen landscape of the surrounding environment, this warm vapor serves as a fragile boundary, separating life and death for native creatures seeking to withstand the cold. The masters of this valley are the Japanese macaques, famously known as snow monkeys. Unlike their tropical relatives, they possess a unique, dense, double-layered coat that allows them to endure temperatures dropping tens of degrees below zero. However, when snowstorms persist continuously from day to day, the protective outer fur begins to freeze, causing their bodies to lose vital heat and pushing them into a perilous state if they remain huddled on the freezing rocky ledges. To survive, these snow monkeys have developed a highly intelligent and unique social behavior unmatched by any other primate. Recognizing the heat source from the hot springs created by geothermal activity, the entire troop begins a short but decisive relocation. From the high trees and cliffs, they follow one another through the deep snow, advancing toward the steaming pool, which holds the perfect warming solution to help them get through the prolonged winter. One by one, they begin to lower themselves into the warm water, which hovers around 40 degrees Celsius. The sudden contact between the freezing air and the Earth's warmth creates an instant physical relief. The frozen snow on their fur melts quickly, and blood vessels beneath the skin expand, bringing an unmistakable sense of comfort. Look at this monkey's expression. Its eyes are half closed in relaxation, its entire body submerged in the water, as if enjoying the greatest privilege amidst the bitter winter days. The hot spring quickly becomes a community hub for the entire troop throughout the winter months. Here, social hierarchies within the troop are temporarily relaxed to make way for collective survival. They sit tightly side by side, maximizing the warm water surface area and creating a peaceful atmosphere that stands in stark contrast to the blizzard howling outside the valley. Bathing in the hot springs is not merely a warming solution. It is also a way for them to reduce severe stress caused by the extreme weather on their nervous system. In the hazy steaming water, the behavior of social grooming is carried out with meticulous care. This is a crucial social bond for these primates. Grooming helps eliminate parasites, cleans wet fur strands, and simultaneously stimulates the body to produce internal warming hormones. The gentle touches and caring gestures between family members reinforce a strong alliance, ensuring that no individual is left behind in the struggle against natural disasters. The fragile young always receive the highest priority of protection from the community. This baby monkey is cradled tightly by its mother, leaving only its head with short fur exposed to the air. On top of its head, falling snow forms a white cap, contrasting vivid red skin flushed from the water's warmth. Thanks to this invaluable heat source and the protective embrace of its mother, the future generation of snow monkeys can survive their most vulnerable stage, when their bodies have not yet developed sufficient independent biological skills. However, life inside the hot spring is not permanent. When needing to forage for bark or pine seeds on the mountain slopes, they are forced to step onto the shore. The moment of exiting the pool is a formidable challenge. You can see thick steam rising from the monkey's drenched body upon contact with the freezing outside air. Thanks to the massive amount of heat stored deep within their muscles during the soak, they possess a brief golden window of time to move quickly without freezing instantly. As dusk falls over the valley, the fading sunlight shines through the mist, creating a landscape both majestic and challenging. The strategy of utilizing geothermal energy by the Japanese macaque is a prime demonstration that adaptation is not just about changing body structures, but also about knowing how to maximize the gifts of the surrounding environment. They have transformed a deadly region into a warm home, composing a unique story of survival through intelligence and solid group cohesion. This is one of the most brutal survival arenas on Earth, where the equator draws a harsh boundary for life. Far from the cool oases or the snow-covered valleys of the north, a desert kingdom unfolds before your eyes, a realm of absolute dominance by sun, wind, and scorching sand. Here, the ground temperature can easily incinerate any unprepared creature. The atmosphere feels compressed by a colossal torrent of solar heat, relentlessly driving bone-dry winds across endless undulating dunes, turning this place into a deadly, challenge-filled wasteland. Yet in the very heart of the desert's deadly void, nature's miraculous adaptation asserts itself once more. Looming through the hazy veil of blowing dust are the silhouettes of camels, solitary travelers known as the ships of the desert. Their existence within this extreme environment is no coincidence, but the result of flawless biological design. They trudge forward, their massive bodies moving rhythmically over the sand, defying the thirst and burning heat that constantly threaten to suffocate all forms of life. Look closely at the smallest details of this creature's body to see the careful preparation of nature. When sudden sandstorms strike, camels do not need to seek shelter like other animals. They possess long, thick, double-layered eyelashes that act as a natural protective screen, preventing even a single grain of sand from entering their eyes. At the same time, their specialized nostril structure can seal completely at will, protecting their respiratory system from the fine dust swirling wildly in the wind. The next secret lies right beneath their feet. Walking on steep, sinking sand dunes is an exhausting ordeal that drains the energy of any animal. Yet camels can glide across them with ease. This is thanks to their wide, expansive feet, equipped with thick, elastic, fleshy pads underneath. Upon contact with the sand, the foot spreads out, dispersing their body weight evenly across the surface and preventing them from sinking. The skin on their soles is also incredibly thick, acting as a perfect thermal barrier that protects them from the sand heated like burning embers. Many mistakenly believe that the camel's hump is a direct reservoir for water, but the scientific reality is far more fascinating. This hump is a massive concentrated store of fat. During long journeys without food, this fat is metabolized into energy to sustain the body. Gathering all fat on the back is an incredibly clever heat dissipation strategy. It prevents fat from insulating the entire body, allowing internal heat to easily escape through the skin of the belly and legs, keeping them from overheating under the scorching sun. Under the blistering heat that evaporates all ambient moisture, the camel's survival strategy is the ultimate lesson in perseverance and superb adaptation. They do not fight the desert. Rather, they blend into its harsh flow through a flawless biological mechanism. Each slow but steady step they take on the glowing red dunes in the late afternoon stands as a vivid symbol of the relentless vitality of life, transforming a seemingly unforgiving land into a grand journey of existence. Our journey now leads to a completely different world, where water is no longer a scarce resource, but a dominant, roaring force. As the season's first rains pour down upon the temperate forest, small streams rapidly swell into aggressive flash floods. The sheer power of the water can sweep away everything in its path, altering the entire structure of the valley. Amidst this intensely shifting natural landscape, a small yet resilient creature is preparing to enter an unequal battle to reshape the current. Emerging from the rushing currents is the beaver, a creature hailed as the greatest engineer of the natural world. For them, the incoming flood is not a threat to flee from, but a challenge that triggers their strongest survival instincts. They possess a single driving purpose: to construct and reinforce a resilient dam system to protect their home. Their weapons are none other than a relentless will and perfect biological tools honed over millions of years of evolution, ready to confront the immense pressure of the raging water. The construction work begins with the trees along the riverbank. Look closely at their specialized orange incisors. Thanks to an incredibly tough, iron-rich enamel layer on the front, these teeth function like a self-sharpening axe, capable of bringing down large wooden trunks in just a few hours. Beavers do not chew aimlessly. They calculate the cutting angle precisely so that the tree always falls toward the stream, fully utilizing gravity to move heavy logs with minimal effort. A loud crack echoes, and the tree crashes down into the riverbed, intersecting a portion of the current. This is the very first foundation stone for a magnificent structure. By blocking large tree trunks horizontally, the beaver creates a sturdy load-bearing frame, capable of dispersing the terrifying pressure of the floodwaters rushing down from upstream. It is the beginning of a long-term defense plan, demanding absolute perseverance from these diligent builders. Yet a single large tree cannot stop the rushing flood. Beneath the water, muddied by silt, the beaver continues its work with incredible meticulousness. They dive deep to the riverbed, skillfully using their front paws to hold smaller branches, wedging them tightly into the gaps. Each twig and leaf is woven together like a mesh network, creating a highly resilient matrix. This interwoven structure allows a small amount of water to filter through to relieve stress, while still holding back most of the water mass behind the dam. To transform the wooden frame into an impenetrable fortress, the beaver needs a special binding material. They begin gathering wet mud, clay, and small stones from the riverbank. Holding the pile of mud tightly against their chest, with short but incredibly strong front paws, they move slowly toward the dam. This natural material, when combined with dry branches, creates a mixture similar to bioconcrete, filling even the smallest crevices and completely halting any leakage from the ferocious current. Once the mud is in place, the beaver's wide, flat, and scaly tail begins to reveal its unique function. Not only does it act as a rudder while swimming, but this tail is also a perfect trowel. The beaver plasters the mud into the gaps and uses its tail to slap the surface firmly, compacting the soil and debris together. Each decisive and powerful slap of the tail secures the layers of material, making the dam rock solid against the continuous pounding of the waves, demonstrating an astonishing coordination of its body. As the structure reaches completion, a true biological miracle unfolds before our eyes. The fortified dam not only halts the destructive power of the raging flood, but also completely transforms the surrounding landscape. Behind the dam, a deep and tranquil pond is formed, becoming a peaceful oasis amidst the storm season. This place is not only a safe haven for the beaver family against predators, but also the cradle of a new ecosystem, slowing the flood's momentum, filtering the water, and bringing life to hundreds of other species in the forest. From the suffocating, scorching deserts to the raging floods that sweep away all boundaries, nature never ceases to amaze us with its resilient vitality and miraculous adaptive mechanisms. Each creature, in its own unique way, is writing grand chapters in the history of survival on this blue planet. Thank you for journeying with us through this visual exploration. Subscribe now so you never miss our next expeditions into the mysteries of the natural world.